Hey, Dave here from Geeky Guys, and back with our celebration of horror in the run up to Halloween with our 18 days till Halloween, 18 horror movies, and 18 horror movie reviews. Today we're talking about a 2023 Irish-based film called Unwelcome. It's directed by Jon Wright. It's also co-written by Jon Wright and Mark Stay. It's got an impressive cast list as well, with Neve Cusack. There's also Christian Nairn from Game of Thrones fame, and also Hannah John Kamen as well, and Douglas Booth, who was in the Motley Crue biopic mockumentary The Dirt. So it's quite a good cast list. Basically, the basic premise of the film, the two main characters, Maya, played by Hannah John Kamen, and Jamie, played by Douglas Booth, that's the one. They're in London, just typical couple trying to get by, working hard. Hannah John Kamen's character is trying to get pregnant, eventually does that, and then the husband gets goaded by these young thugs, these young hoodlums outside. He's not having any of it. They don't like it. Follow him from the shop where he's just been to buy the bubbly to celebrate the pregnancy back to the house, and there's a break-in and an attack. Luckily, thankfully, they both survive. The baby isn't damaged, and luckily, very soon after that, Jamie's Aunt Maeve passes away in Ireland and leaves them her house. So it's the perfect time to kind of get away. They don't feel safe there anyway, and in London where this break-in and attack has happened. So they move to the house, hoping for in the house in Ireland, hope for a peaceful, idyllic time and a lovely place to bring up their young baby. And they get a bit more than they bargained for, as you can imagine, with it being a horror film. Now it's very much like a Gremlins and Straw Dogs kind of vibe going on. There's also a kind of Critters vibe. There's also a kind of Dark Crystal vibe with the look of the creatures in the film, and it's also a little bit Jim Henson Workshop as well. So it's a very interesting and strange mix. And Jon Wright said that the inspiration for the film came from Grimm's fairy tales and from Irish folk tales told to him by his Irish grandfather back in the day when he was younger. So it comes from all that. That's basically where it comes from. Moving to this rundown house, they need people to come in and help them do it up. There's issues there, and they have the landlady of the pub, the Fen, played by Neve Cusack, tells them that things aren't quite how they appear, and that they have to leave some raw meat, slice of liver, out every night to feed these little people in the woods next to the house. And of course they laugh it off and think it's tradition and just silly rubbish, and obviously so they don't take much notice of it. They forget the first night, and then Neve Cusack's character takes Hannah John Kamen's character aside and like reiterates, how how they must do it, how dangerous it is, and things go on from there. But needless to say, there are things happen where they find out these little men in the forest are real. More sort of backstory comes out, and a lot more crazy stuff happens to this young couple. And they've got the stuff with the little people, the stuff with the builders, who are not the nicest of people or the most hardworking of people or the most sincere or honest of people. They're pretty bad, thuggish characters, which is exactly what they were trying to get away from when they moved from London to Ireland. So it doesn't start off well in that way from the start. But yeah, there's a lot of horrible, nasty bits. It's not overly gory, but there's some little bits. You don't know quite what's going to happen next, how it's going to develop. And yeah, the effects are pretty good, I would have to say. That's pretty good. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else that we need to say on it. But yeah, came out in January 2023, and it's not got an amazing approval rating, 63% on Rotten Tomatoes, an average rating of 5.8 out of 10, which I think is a bit harsh. I don't think it's that bad. It's not an amazing film, but it's a fun film and it kind of works. And I wouldn't say it's that low a score. It's pretty good. It's also a little bit similar to Jon Wright's previous boozy creature comedy Grabbers. So there's a little bit of that. But yeah, this is an interesting thing with trauma and paying a price for that trauma, and how you come out the other side of it. So yeah, it's a good fun horror creature, psychological horror, thriller, comedy, all those things really. But yeah, if you like your kind of slightly silly horrors with folky tale, fairy tale kind of creatures as the backbone of the story, then it's definitely for you. And yeah, I think you'll enjoy it, and I would recommend anybody to give it a watch. I think you might like it. Anything else that you want to say about it, or anything we've missed, obviously put it down in the comments. And yeah, we'll be back. The creatures, I should say, in this movie are called the Red Hats, or I think the traditional Irish name is like Faranduin or something like that. But yeah, it's epic, it's silly, a little bit gory, a little bit chilling at times, but yeah, well worth a watch. So check it out, and we'll join you on the next one.